All right, this is Victor, my trading journal for April going on to the 23rd. So this is what I'm seeing here. I'm looking at the Dow right now, and I use the VWAP 5 days here, the yellow line. I also look at the MACD 1226.9. I look at the histogram, the RSI 5 with the 50 line here. If it goes above the 50, it turns green. If it's below the 50, it stays red, with the dash indicator lines here being the 30 at the bottom and 70 at the top, and then the RSI 14. So as long as it stays above the 50 line, it turns green. If it's below, it turns red. So this is basically my longer trend, my medium trend, and my short trend indicator with the confirmation of the VWAP here. So this is the ones that I've been using. So I'm looking at the VWAP here. The price is trading above it. It's on its second day, usually, which is I consider the confirmation to get in. So the bulls have certainly taken over. That's basically what the VWAP helps determine which side is in control, the bulls or the bears if it's below. Looking down here on the MACD, you could see it turned green several days ago right on this candle here. So that means the momentum has started showing the shift at this point. So that kind of gives you a heads up. Hey, things might be starting to shift. Then on the RSI 5, you could see it has been oversold because it's under the 30. Now it's recouping and pointing upward and has turned green, that meaning that it's above the 50% mark on the RSI 5, which is good, which indicates today's confirmation. The longer trend, though, which is the RSI 14, is still red, so there's still some risk in this. But if we continue possibly next day to head up or two, then this bar here would certainly turn green, and now we got you might say all four cylinders running on this, and we could continue to go up. And I'm looking here to see if there's any gaps here, but this has been filled. So we've got to get over this strong bar here, as some people call the control bar. And when we close down, that's when things have gotten really scary. So if we could get back above, closing above here, then we could see the next leg up. But for now, at least I will look into this as being very cautious on this move up that we're going to be possibly getting into. Going to go look at the SPY real quick here using the same methodology. Here's the RSI, the VWAP 5. We're still trading below it, so that's trying to get some control. The histogram here is showing the green, so we could see the momentum is starting to shift up. So this may be something to keep an eye on. RSI 5, as you can see, is now pointing upward, hasn't turned into the 50% mark, which will be green, so be watching that. While at the same time, the RSI 14 is still in the red zone here, so this is to be cautious of here. So if I was going to be aggressive, I would certainly purchase if I see the closing of the day above the VWAP, especially since I see this indicator, and this would most likely be green at that time. Going over to the Qs, you could see the VWAP, it certainly has some distance below. The histogram is now starting to turn green, so we may be seeing a shift in momentum starting to build up. The RSI 5 is now pointing upward, still below the 50, I do notice that it did get a pretty good sell-off because it went under the 30 line here. So now it's pointing upward. So let's see if we can get it back above the VWAP. And then based on this distance here, we should be able to get a green bar here on the 14-day, which usually could mean that this could be the next leg up. Now let's go to look at IWM, the weakest of them all. Well, at least it appears, but as you can see here, it broke above the VWAP, which is positive. We have 2 days of the histogram green here on the MACD. So if I see the candle rising above and around halfway through the day, if it's still on the green side above this high of this candle, then I will be considering getting in, going long using TNA. So, but the long term still is still to be cautious because we're still in the red zone. So depending how much we get of a move, this could turn green or it could stay red, but certainly this will probably be turning green a lot quicker. So usually this is your first indicator. This will then come second. This is your confirmation. I'll show you that this index is running at all 8 cylinders, or all 4 cylinders in this case with the 4 indicators. Where can we go if we do get all of these pointing upward? I'm looking at up here at this gap fill, so I'm just going to put that in there just for a reminder of myself here. So that'll be the target if we get there on the IWM for the bounce. Okay, now as far as picks, what I've got here that I'm going to be looking at is going to be these guys here, and they're one of the top leaders there recently, and just to show you, they are above their 21-day moving average, which is the green here. So that's how I scan, fully pull back and get the green. So let me take that back out. And so I'm gonna keep an eye on the VWAP here and on the trend here with the green. See, it's pointing downward, so it may continue to go down, but if it does get a bounce and decide to go the next leg up, at least I could try to get into it. So that's FCX, which is Freeport McMoran, which is a material and metals stock. Looking at also another metals and materials stock is Southern Copper Corporation. It's basically the same story. It's getting a pullback. It's above the 22-day moving average. So watching the histogram here, I do know that there's earnings coming up. So if we see this ticking back upward, maybe somebody knows somebody and is this going to start accumulating. And but something to watch. We'll see. HMY, which is another, this is a precious metal company. I like this formation here. You got a hammer, bullish hammer below. We do got the tick going down. This is pointing down. See the long term here, it's still green. So we'll have to watch this and see if we can get the price action to go above the VWAP. Then we know the bulls have control of it. Let's go to the next one. This one, Inspire Medical System. This is a health technology stock. Under the VWAP, it's certainly above the 22-day moving average. The trend is still positive long term. We just had a pullback dip, and the histogram is also in the little red. So we'll see if we can get a green histogram and consider getting in on this one here. We do got earnings showing up as well, so something to be careful. AEM. This one's Agnico Eagle Mines, another precious metal company. Now this one's kind of right on the borderline here. So I kind of like this. It's green here. However, the short term it ticked down to and becomes red. I don't know if you could see that. But also the RSI 14 is still, the longer trend is still up. So I put an alert here. You could see right at where the high of this candle would be. And if it closes, seems to be closing at the high at the end of the day, certainly going to be worth getting in, even though with the earnings here, because I like the way this is forming. So as long as this longer trend shows that it's up, I'm willing to take a little risk on that. CRMD, medical biotech here. I like the candle formation here. It's under the VWAP. We have earnings several days further out, so maybe we'll get it'll run up on the rumor and then sell on the news. So let's see if we get that kind of action. Long term, you could see here it's green. Medium term, we're just touching right at the 50, and this has just been cooling down. So if this starts turning green here, this will certainly be a good candidate for me to get in. And MUX, McIrwin Mining, another mining. So certainly a lot of the metals here are have been strong, and if the trend is still to continue, then you know, this is basically the first leg up on this one here. Same story, above the VWAP, put a signal here. So if it trades above it near the end, consider getting in, even though earnings coming up. If you look from the last time, from the last earnings from here, it's from here to here, I certainly could see that it's going to get positive earnings, because it just has, price has gone up, inflation has gone up, materials has gone up. So I could only speculate that the trend is continued from one quarter from the previous quarter has gone up. So we should be, or at least I should think that the trend will continue to go up here. So that's my thought here. So going back to the first one here, you could see the trend is all green here, and it's the first leg up from a consolidation. And when I mean consolidation, you could see it's been ramping up, and it just picked up right there recently. So it's basically on the first leg. Same with this guy here. Broke above, running. Now it's pulling back, so maybe we'll get a second leg up. And let's see this guy here also. This one kind of traded sideways. And you can see it broke above. It's on its first leg up. And this guy here, this one's kind of been trading up slowly, making higher highs. So we'll let's see here. It's kind of been going bouncing all over the place a little bit, but we'll see. And this one here, you can see it broke above the channel or the trend line. It's running up. And this one here, oh, this is a nice long channel. Trend line here, you can see, had a fake out, pulled back, and now it broke up. Now it's pulling back. Let's see if it'll run back up. And the last one, and here you could see been trading in this channel here sideways, and then broke, and it's on its first leg up. Okay, so those are basically everything that I see, and let's see how that goes, and I'll keep everybody posted on my ventures. All right, take care and good night.